Pivot tables are a powerful tool in Excel to easily understand your data. Let's walk through the basics in under 3 minutes. So first thing to understand when using pivot tables is how do you insert them? Go up here, insert, pivot table. You can insert this on a new worksheet. Now I have a pivot table. What I can also do is insert a pivot table on my existing worksheet. So insert, pivot table, existing worksheet, and now I have a pivot table I can work with while still seeing my source data. What I can do is drag my year or my date into my columns. I can drag my category into my rows and then my revenue into my values section so that I can see my data really easily and understand trends at the total level and the category level. If I want to make these numbers easier to read, I can either highlight this table, go up to the Home tab and update the number formats, or I can click on this values section, value field settings, number format, and I can change anything I want in here, right? I can get rid of the decimals, I can use the thousand separator. That gives me a really clean format for my pivot table. I can also change the value field settings. So if instead of showing sum, I wanted to look at the count, I can do that. If I wanted to look at the average, I can do that. I can toggle anything in this value field setting. Next, what I might want to do is drag in an additional value. So if I drag in quantity into my values section, I now have this sigma values variable appears. And what it's showing me is the sum of revenue and the sum of quantity. If I drag this values above my year, now I can group my revenue and my quantity to see trends within my business. So if you drag in a state into your rows, now what you have is a top level category, your fruit category, and then a subcategory, which is the state those fruits are sold in. If you go to your design tab, what you can do is you can filter through a number of different options. You can turn off the subtotals, you can show your subtotals at the bottom of the group, you can show them at the top of the group, you can insert a blank row if you want more space, you can turn off your grand totals, you can turn on some subsection of your grand totals, change the format of your pivot table if you want some completely different format very easily. You can also change the layout. So if I go to outline form, this is going to nest my subcategory in a next row, where if I go back, these are all in column G, where if I use outline form, it's moved my subcategory to column H. If I use tabular form, now my top level category and subcategory are in the same row, where if I went back to my compact form, these are nested into different rows.